It is a brand new year in Pittsburgh. Gone are Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and now it's all about Ben Roethlisberger. Steelers tight end Vance McDonald said yesterday that Ben has been on fire in camp and added, quote, his whole approach and demeanor is completely different this year. And Ben said he's enjoying training camp more this year, adding, I'm not sure why, but I am. So, Shannon, what do you make of this? What is going on here?
Skip, Eddie. Eventually, you're going to listen to me. He's the same Ben Roethlisberger as he always has been. This is why he's not a great leader. He just cannot let this petty little beef that he has going on with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, he can't let it go. It's his way of finally saying, yeah, guys, I'm still here. I'm having me a good time. You guys, you're in Oakland and you're in New York, but I'm still here. I don't know why I'm enjoying camp after 16 years, but I really am. I just can't put my finger on it. Come on, Skip. This is why I keep telling you. Ben Roethlisberger is not going to change. Is he a great football player? Absolutely. But he's one of the worst leaders that's a great player that they've ever been. And he just can't let it go. And hopefully, finally, I think that you're going to say, you know what, Shannon? You're right. He needs to just let this go, but he can't. Go ahead.
By the way, just a quick point of clarification. On Meryl Streep, she's 3 and 18 when it comes to nominations. So she's been nominated 21 total times. She won 3 times. Sophie's Choice, Kramer versus Kramer, Iron Lady. So she's way worse than LeBron, but LeBron-esque, you know. So I like the analogy. I just wanted to point that out.
What about the nomination? That means she's putting herself in consideration.
Well,
you can't win it if you ain't in consideration.
Like she was playing in the Eastern Conference all those years. I don't know.
Whatever.
This is the first time Meryl Streep's ever been brought up on Undisputed.
I
kind of like it, too.
I kind of like it. Now, back to Big Ben, who is going to have a big year this year. You heard it here first. You will hear it here last. I will be right about this because the deck did get cleared. I will agree with you to this point. I wish he would just stop talking about it, but I think he's fueled by it. I think he wants to, between the lines, say, I don't know why. I'm just so happy this year. And make it very clear to everybody on the outside looking in, we got rid of the 2 clouds that hung over this team, Le'Veon and obviously Antonio. And we are going forward with a whole new feel to this football team. And I loved what Vance McDonald said because his last line is, I think he's on fire. I think Ben will be on fire. I told you I'm going dark horse. I'm going long shot. You always go chalk for your MVP picks, though you're starting to have second thoughts about Andrew Luck now because it sounds like he's going to play no preseason games. But I'm going out on the limb. I said I like Ben to win the MVP in a huge bounce-back year, although he led the NFL in completions and yards last year. So he had a pretty good year, I would say. Now, they didn't make the playoffs, but they had all kinds of issues. That was a divided football team.
And he was one of the issues, Skip Bayless. The only difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers this year and last year as far as the locker room is that they do not have guys that will stand up for themselves. When Ben Roethlisberger criticized them publicly, all the other guys would drop their head and like, okay, Ben, you're right. Antonio Brown says, Le'Veon Bell would have said, Now, I don't know how Le'Veon got lumped into this because Le'Veon was out of sight, out of mind. Le'Veon didn't show up for one day, not for OTAs, not for mini camp, not for training camp, not for the season. And somehow he was a bad apple because he wanted his money, and he wasn't going to allow you to put 400 more touches on his body without adequately compensating him.
What did you tell me?
That's the problem that
What was your shock of the year last year? That whole locker room starting that whole offensive line turned on Le'Veon from day one, right? Where is he?
And you know what, Skip? That should have given you an indication of the problems that were brewing. And it came to a head. And see, because winning, not only is it a great deodorant, it can mask a lot of things. And what it masked with them winning is that the deep-rooted, seated issue that was going on in that locker room, mainly between the quarterback and the wide receiver, and I guess the offensive line and the running back. And when they started losing, it came to a head, and it ended up being Antonio Brown, who finished number 7 in the top 100 being traded. Let that sink in for just a second. But Skip,
I
Ben
have
needs
no
to let
respect
this
for
go.
the top 100, so go ahead.
Oh, you should have. You should have the ultimate respect for it. You should have the ultimate respect for it.
So the point is that all of a sudden it's a new day in Pittsburgh. They managed to pull off the steal of the first round of the draft. Devin Bush, University of Michigan, covered that team. She knows what a force field he can create on a defense.
Agree.
He will quickly become the alpha leader of the defense, which still has a lot of talent left on it. They did lead the NFL. They were co-leaders in sacks last year. And they have upgraded at several positions, but especially Devin Bush will become the driving force of the defense. Mike Tomlin's side of the ball, which has struggled and suffered under Mike Tomlin over the last 4 years, I think that will get fixed quickly. And offensively, I think Ben is on a mission to say, watch what I can do without Le'Veon and without Antonio going forward, because I still think there's a lot of talent there, starting with that young receiver, Juju. We've had him on our show. He's just high quality to me. He's one you can depend on and trust. Okay. And you say, yeah, but watch what happens when you're you're solo number one. Yeah, well, I think he will rise and shine.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to show that he can. There's a reason why he was voted where he was, and even though he had more catches and more yards than Antonio Brown, but the players spoke, and they said he was substantially. Antonio Brown, AB, was substantially better than Juju. Now, Juju is going to get their attention. Can he handle it? We're about to find out, Skip. But why can't Ben just let it go, Skip? If you're a leader, so you see, again, he equates, as long as I win, I can say I can do whatever I want. I can keep these petty beefs going. That's not leadership, Skip. He doesn't get that. That's why he's not a great leader.
By the way, the locker room spoke when it voted Juju the MVP last year, right?
Right. You're right. That said a lot.
Yes.
That said a lot about the team. We'll have
So, by the way,
hold on,
hold
on, Skip Bayless.
again.
You mean to tell me 5,100 yards, 5,100, he threw for the 7th most yards in NFL history. He had the high completion and yards, and his team didn't vote him the MVP. Shouldn't that tell you something?
Nope. Should tell me nothing.
It don't tell you nothing.
Juju.
Hey, Jenny, shouldn't that tell you something? The quarterback, the most valuable, the most important player, with the 7th most passing yards. Yeah, Skip Bayless.
By the way, I'm so on the record with this one. I'm so far out on the limb. I'm also already picking Pittsburgh to win its opener at Foxborough. That's how much I like this team.
And you've been saying...
I got the Patriots. I got Patriots. Come on, Patriots.
Yeah,
don't let me down, Patriots.
Are we putting due on this one or not yet?
We will.
Got time? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tom Brady gonna go for about. Tom will go for about 400. About 4 billion.
Now he's on Tom's side.
He's good for that.
We have to talk more about Ezekiel Elliott. Is he actually going to miss games this season? We will discuss with Greg Jennings next.